Hey everyone, it's Michelle Galnett from Past and Present Presents. Today we are going to be doing a sunflower wreath. This is from one of my starter kits, my starter sunflower kits. I offer these in a variety of different colors, and they come with everything that you need to create your own wreath. Now, it makes it super easy for first timers. So if you want to check out my page and see which other ones I have to offer, it's Past and Present Presents. And just leave me a comment or shoot me a message. Now, today I'm doing the sunflower wreath. So what that includes, your starter kit includes one small UITC board with already your hanging twine. For the newer kits, you are receiving wire cutters. This was the only added from the older kits. You're receiving 50 zip ties, your center rosette, which will not come pre-poofed. I leave that up to you because some people like it to be this tight and some people like it open. So whatever your preference is, you do it yourself. You will receive 40 pieces of the yellow poly burlap already cut and sealed for you. This way all you have to do is put it all together and that's it. You don't have to have any extra materials. You don't have to do the thought process of, hey, what do I buy, what do I get, what do I do, and what's not shown in this is you also will be receiving a pattern paper that shows you, if you don't want to look up on the tutorial, it shows you everything on paper. So next I'm going to unroll all this stuff and then I'll show you how to load your board. Okay, so next here we have the UITC small wreathing board. This one has 16 holes on the outside. There's only 4 rows in this one. So this one has 16 on the outside, 8 on the second row, 8 on the third row, and 4 on the fourth row. Now for the first people who ordered my kits, they received the large wreathing board. And the large wreathing board just has an extra outside row. That row number 1, you will not be using. So if you have the large board, you are going to be starting on your row 2. It's identical to the rest of this board, so just leave out that row 1. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to preload your board. Now, you want to do this just because when you're putting on your petals, you want to touch your material as little as possible. So all you're going to do is you're going to make sure the flat head is towards you. You're going to go in, you're going to go in one hole and out the other. And you're just going to zip them closed until you hear that little bit of zip. You're not going to put them any tighter than that because when you're using poly burlap, it's a little bit thicker, so you need a bigger hole to push it through, okay? So what I like to do is, it's easier, I like to take my zip ties, fold it in half, and just push them in just like this. And I keep going. I do that until they're all done. Now, it doesn't matter which hole they go in, which head you push them in through, okay? Because you're going to tighten them either way, either or, okay? So we're just going to take your zip tie. Now, these are 5.5 inch. You can use any size, but the 5.5 inch less waist is best, so... Okay, so you're just pushing it in. I'll just pull that up a little bit more so you can see. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'll fast forward that. Okay, let's finish this row and then we'll continue. If you already know this step, feel free to fast forward. Okay. So there we go. Alright, now we're going to come back down to the board. And like I said, when you close them up, you're going to do it so you hear a little bit of a zip. Just a little bit. For poly burlap, you need the bigger center. And like I said, these starter kits are great for anyone who's just starting out. I know the ones that are just starting out don't know what kind of materials to buy, how much to buy. So this takes the guessing work right out of it. So all you're doing is just like a needle and thread. Okay, now I'm going to finish this off of camera and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have all 4 rows done. Now I said you don't close the zip tie all the way, remember that. Now in the starter kit you will be receiving 50 zip ties, so you will have some left over. This I sent the extra zip ties just in case one snaps, one breaks, you goof up, you need more. So you'll have about, what is there, 36. So you'll still have about 14 zip ties left over just for boo-boos, or you use it for your next project. Okay, now here we have our pre-cut, pre-sealed poly burlap mesh. Now you see how we have the factory edges. When we are doing a sunflower petal, what you're going to do is you're going to take your petal, your piece of mesh, you're going to have the factory edges at the top and the bottom. Then you're going to turn it towards the right. You always want your factory edge to be down towards your left hand side and up towards your right hand side on the top, not the bottom. So left, right. Okay, then all you're going to do from here is you are going to go from the bottom, from the very tippity bottom to the very tippity top. Okay, so I'll start this off and you're just going to scrunch up. Just like this, and you're going to have a petal that looks, if you can see it, that looks just like that, the other one the same. Then what you're going to do is you are going to turn this and flip it one right on top of the other. Well, see, I can't do it sideways. Then you're going to hold this down with your fingers just like that, with your pointer on the inside, your thumb on the outside, and your other fingers on that side. Now what I do is I like to push them down a little bit to make sure, see how they're even, to make sure that my tips are even. So then once you do that, you are going to take your UITC small wreathing board and you are going to enter this in. Now you can adjust your petals now, or you can adjust them after you put them in. I like to adjust them, well, the inside seam parts I like to adjust. You can adjust your height, you can put it in further, you can take it out, make it a little bit longer. I like to go maybe about a quarter of an inch from the row 2, or like I said, if you're on the large Unique in the Creek board, this is going to be your your row 3. So then all you do is you just take your zip tie, go back and forth a little bit, make sure it's tight, and then cut off your stem to your zip tie. So we'll do that again. I'll show you that a few times. Same thing, you're going to make sure your factory edges are on the top and the bottom. You're going to turn it towards the right into a diamond shape. Go to the very bottom, scrunch it up. and you have what's like almost like a bow tie. Then you're gonna squish them up together towards each other. Measure the tips, make sure they are even. Oop, got my rosette in the way. So from this first one, that's where you're gonna set your guideline. That's what your guideline is gonna be for the rest of your petals, because you don't want any wonky donkey petals. So same thing, I push these down to make sure that my petals are even. Take the zip tie. And it's okay if your petals start curving up a little bit like that. Once you cut your zip tie off, you can always adjust it. Just remember, the more you handle your mesh, anytime anything is sealed, it will fray. Okay, so just be gentle, have patience with it, don't yank it, because if you start yanking on it, you're definitely gonna rip your seal. So there we go, we have 2 done so far. I'll show you how to do the petal one more time. Factory edges, factory edges top to bottom, turn right. Then we're gonna take this edge and just keep scrunching straight up to the top. That's how you do it. Put them right on top of each other. Not all the way, you're not going all the way over. You're just, you're leaving about 2 inches. You're gonna make sure that your tips are even. Go into your next one, and this is gonna be the same thing. Now, when you start on your wreath, you're gonna want to keep going in the same direction. You're not gonna want to change directions, because then your petals are gonna overlay on top of each other, and when you go to show it, you'll have to start messing with it and then risk getting more frays. So remember, the least amount of handling you do to your poly burlap, the more perfect that it will look. So we have this going right now. I'm going to finish this up, and I will come back and finish the center for you. Okay guys, so this is what it would look with your first 3 rows done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 petals left, and let's get to it. Here we have the last 4 petals. So now when you are doing your sunflower, you will have zip ties left over, and you will also have 4 of the yellow poly burlap left over. I sent extras just in case, because I know a lot of you are just starting out, just in case you your poly mesh starts to fray really bad, or if you mess up one when they're in the zip ties and need to take it out, or it snags on something. This way you're not stuck without anything else to use. So this is my second to last petal. Once you start doing these, you can shoot them out super fast. But these kits are just to show that you can do it yourself. It shows you that you can do it. Remember, we want those zip ties nice and tight so nothing comes out. And then you're gonna adjust your petals as you go. Okay, so last one, and see I have four left over. You can use those on a different project, or you can make your own rosette, a yellow rosette out of poly burlap. I have a video on doing that as well. It's on my Past and Present Presents page. It's not on YouTube because it was during a live. Okay, so we have the last petal going in. Now that one I like to just keep my finger in there while I adjust to see, because this is the last petal, to see where it needs to be adjusted, if any spots need to be covered. This one needs to come over, so we'll fix that. Okay, so just stand up, adjust your work. See, I have some little pieces coming out as well. Just because your mesh is sealed does not mean it's not going to fray. All meshes fray no matter what you do to them. Okay, then since this was the last petal that we did, we're going to take this one, and that should be done in every row, and we're going to flip it over that one. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to take our rosette. You have your attachment, your pipe cleaner. Doesn't matter which set of holes you put it through. You're just going to put it at one opposite of each row. So if you put it here, can you see it? Nope. Nope. Hold on, let me get the camera up. So if you do one here, you're going to do one the opposite. You're going to keep it the opposite. You're not going to keep it the same just because you don't want it to be on this side more. You want it to be in the middle. Okay? Now I know the new large Unique in the Creek boards have that feature to where you can put it in the middle, but with a sunflower petal, if you're using the inside row, as you can see, you're not using those two middle ones. You're not getting to them at all. Okay, so we're doing opposite, and your centers are long enough. Your centers will be, your pipe cleaners are long enough so you can have a good enough width. So now what I do is on the back here, when we're tying a pipe cleaner, we go to either this hole, the hole that's coming out of, and that's where you're going to tighten. You don't want any loosey-goosey over here. So we're just going to tighten that. I bend mine down, as you can see, and then I just tuck it in the next hole, the adjoining hole. Okay, this way there's no lumps, everything's nice and smooth. We got our rosette on. Now you can leave it just like this, because look how gorgeous this looks. It's gorgeous just like that, but then watch when you flare it out. You just press down. And I try not to touch the center as much, just because you want that nice full bud in the center. Okay. Sometimes I just do this. It's not going to stay like this. I just do this just to get it a little bit more. Now look at the difference. Where's my top? Now, don't wear clothes that your stuff will stick to. Okay. So now here is the center. Look how gorgeous. Look how gorgeous and full the center looks now. You can adjust them if you don't like it. Okay, next I'll show it to you hanging up. Okay guys, so there it is, all hung up, all done. That's my the wall, the door that I hang all my wreaths on. So thank you for joining me in this sunflower tutorial for the starter kit. If you're interested in purchase either this wreath or a starter kit, just head on over to my page, Past and Present Presents, or shoot me a message. Thank you for joining. Bye.